Are you ready, ready?
Welcome to week 3 of the Boom Room, where we starting to see how things are starting to shake out a little bit. Hey, let's talk about what's starting to shake out. First up, Machiavellians versus Bread Inc. Machiavellians caught a tough break, not only losing Christian McCaffrey on Thursday, but losing A.J. Brown also on Sunday. Bread Inc. didn't give a fuck because he lost Dalvin Cook before the game even started. His running backs was enough to get him a much needed victory. Man, Bread Inc., you're in the win column. Now on 2, G5 versus the North. The North had a solid game led by Tom Brady and his running backs. However, it wasn't enough to match G5 wide receivers led by the steal of the draft so far, Mike Williams. Hey, I see you, DJ Moore. G5, second explosive performance so far this year. On to the game that got a little chippy. The Legends, Negro. Would this finally be the time that Negro got his first victory against the Legends? No. The Legends smacked him around. No need to really get into the particulars. It was a blowout. At one point, the Legends took a shot at Negro saying, man, at least y'all kept it within 50. Negro didn't like that, calling them the regular season champs. Legend said, man, you need to worry about what's going on over there. Hey, Negro, you got another shot in a couple of weeks. We'll see. On to another game that got a little chippy. The champs, Jabronis. Jabronis wanted to make a statement saying, like, look, last year is over and done with. They took a shot at Robbie Anderson saying he don't even belong on the same field as us. Jabronis, led by his quarterback and his defense, pretty much controlled this game from beginning to end. The champ said, yo, I wish you was talking that smack before the game. But hey, what's done is done. Jabronis looking solid. The champs off to a slow start, but they got off to a slow start last year, so I'm confident they'll be able to rebound. Now on 2, the Higher Power versus El Cajinos. Cajinos played a solid game, getting contributions up and down the lineup. However, he ran into a 53-piece from Josh Allen. Welcome to the season, Josh. Listen, it hurts to score 152 and never really be in the game. Right now, the Higher Power is getting off to a surprisingly quick start. That's usually not his MO. League might be in trouble. See you, Higher Power. Cajinos, you got work to do. Now on 2, the game of the week. TNT, whipping that ass, money on the line, bragging rights. TNT smothered whipping that ass, explosive offense. They couldn't get anything going. Little garbage time from Jalen Hurts, but it wasn't enough. TNT got solid contributions from Austin Eckler, got a good contribution from wide receiver Keenan Allen. Quarterback wasn't on top of his game, but did just enough. That TNT defense ranked number 1 in the league right now. What a victory. Boom. No guest this week. Let's have a little bit of fun with it. Let's bring out, for the first time this season, the power rankings. And this is going to tell us so far who had a good draft and who's made solid moves thus far. Never too early for a power ranking. Now, like I said, this isn't just about, hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, putting them in order. This is about putting the data in, getting feedback analytically to saying what teams are really good and well positioned to make a run. Now, without further ado, let's get into the tiers. The first tier is going to be very concerned. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just week 3. You shouldn't be very concerned. There's a lot of time left. But there's one team that should be very concerned, and that's Negro. This guy can't catch a break. I actually was looking at his roster today, and I was looking for that Oprah meme where, like, you get a red dot, and you get a red dot, and you get a red dot. My man got like 7 people with red dots on his team, and his number 1 pick is like this. You should be very concerned, unfortunately. Enough of that though. Let's move up the tiers. Next tier is a little concerned. And that's okay. After 3 weeks, it's okay to be a little concerned and be like, you know what? Might have to tweak something here and there. We got 2 teams on the little concern list. That's going to be Bread Inc. and defending champion Arizona Ron. The computer says both you guys should be just a little concerned. Now, let's move up to a team that's on the tier of playoff contenders. There's only one team that's on this tier where we say right now they profile as a team that's going to be a playoff contender in that 6th, 7th, 8th round seed all year. Right now the computer says that's the North. The North right now is the only team we have in that tier of playoff contender. We'll see. Now let's go up where it starts to get a little juicy. These are the teams that could win it all. All right? We got 3 teams on this tier, all from the same division. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. They're not from the same division. 2 out of 3. The first team is going to surprise you, which is El Cajinos. The computer loves this team. Quite frankly, I like this team a lot too. I spoke up for this team with the rest of the committee. Listen, he has a pretty decent roster, good team. Ran into some bad luck, but the analytics say that this is a team that can win it all. I know, 0-3, but the computer's showing them some love. Also on the could win it all list, Machiavellians. Computer loves this team. Now the committee was a little upset with this. The committee believes that this is a computer team. But I'm not gonna go there. Listen, they love his roster. Providing McCaffrey and AJ Brown aren't out too long, this is a team that should be challenging the next team on the list for the division all year. Now, G5. This team gave the committee the most headaches this week because we thought that this team profile could have them at the very top of the list. But we put them here because 1 week was really, they really didn't score good. Wide receiver play is going to be like, he has some options there, but will he make the right decisions? And the committee said his schedule this week will let us know if he deserves to be moved up. We'll see. Quite frankly, I'm not buying it though. Now, let's go to the number 1 contenders. First, whooping that ass. Whooping that ass off to a solid start. The computer loves his team. They're very balanced. And the computer says that this is a team that should be watched all season. Even the people in the room of the committee said this is a nice team, and hopefully it doesn't get blown up in the next 2 weeks. But after the doubleheader with Corey, all bets is off. Another team that's in the number 1 contender is the higher power. I know what you're thinking. The higher power maybe you thought would be the top dog. But the committee doesn't look at this as a 3-0 team. The committee treated this as a 2-1 team, saying that they value the Jabronis game. They felt like the Jabronis won that game, and had they had Swift, the outcome would have been different. So the higher power profiles as a 2-1 team, according to the committee and the computer. Computer likes this team, but it says it's not ready to put it at the top echelon. That leaves one more team that's in the number 1 contender tier, and that'll be TNT. TNT profiles as one of the best teams. The thing that's kept, there was only one thing that kept TNT off the next tier. And when we get to the next tier, you'll understand it more. Because the next tier is what we're calling sitting on a throne. Sitting on a throne means a team to beat. There's 2 teams left. Those 2 teams are on the throne. First, Jabronis. Jabronis make the throw because, as I said previously, he's looked at as a 3-0 team according to the computers. The loss that he had to the higher power, they gave him a because he wasn't able to play his running back Swift, even though that was his fault. The computer doesn't take that into account. So right now the computer treats him like a 3-0 team and a team that's to be reckoned with. Loves the roster. The only thing about this team that they worry about is George Kittles. If George Kittles can be a top For tight end, this team profiles very well. That leaves only one team. Without a doubt, so far the most impressive team has been Lincoln Legends. He shares the throne technically, but right now, he's the guy to go get. Lincoln Legends, congratulations. Your profile at 3-0. Your profile, excellent wide receivers. It ain't nobody even close to you right now after 3 weeks. Running backs are solid, even though they haven't performed up to probably what you had expected. Only thing the committee looks at, the only weakness might be tight end, where you tried to address that. But the tight end is still talented enough where he still can have some big games. And that gets me back to why TNT wasn't put on this list. Because TNT only loss, unfortunately, was to the Legends. And we felt as though the Legends should be up there by themselves without TNT because they beat them head to head. Now, we know some of you going to quibble. It's going to be some, any feedback, we love it. Listen, this isn't just me. This is a committee and a computer. I advocate for some of y'all. I don't advocate for some of y'all. Week 3, relax. Shout out Nick Wright. You gave me this idea. Show you some love. Listen, that's the tiers. Don't blame me. Blame the committee. Now on to the game of the week. But before we get there, I just want to do a little thing because TNT plays the North this week. And that's, of course, who we won the chip against. So every time we see the North is great. Even though I know the North is, probably saying we knocked out the playoffs last year. What you did, and we haven't forgotten. It's payback week this week, buddy. Now, on to the game of the week. G5. We talked about it in our last segment. Probably thinks he should be higher up on the tiers. Well, here's your chance to prove it, buddy. Unprecedented. This year. It's not everybody. It's the same 3 teams playing everybody. It's all switched up, and I love it. G5, you're the game of the week twice. G5, higher power. G5, Lincoln Legends. Hey, here's your chance to prove the committee wrong or prove me right. Can't wait to see you next week in the Boom Room.